Namaste to everyone. In this discussion, we are going to have a detailed analysis of Sri Venkateswara's back upper hand, that is holding Shankha Mudra. It is also called as a sustainer of the universe. In the magnificent and how inspiring form of Lord Sri Venkateswara of Tirumala, every ornament, gesture, and posture is infused with deep spiritual meaning and eternal symbolism. One of the most powerful and sacred gestures is the Shankha Mudra, where the Lord holds the divine conch, that is the Shankha, in his upper left hand. This mudra is far more than an ornamental feature. It is a cosmic gesture that reverberates with Vedic, Puranic, and Agamic significances. The Shankha is traditionally associated with the primordial sound Om. It is considered the first vibration of the creation, the sound from which the universe emerged. When held by the Lord, it becomes an instrument of cosmic order, that is Dharma, and divine protection. It is the conch that announces the Lord's presence, not as a distant deity, but as the ever-present guardian and sustainer of the universe. In this present lecture, we delve into the symbolism, spiritual foundations, and devotional interpretations of the Shankha Mudra. We aim to bring together the philosophical depth of Sanatana Dharma with the devotional fervor of South Indian spiritual tradition. Now, with the brief introduction, now let us find out what are the different types of Shankas or conches available. In Vaishnavism tradition, Lord Vishnu is associated with 5 sacred conches, collectively known as Panchashankas. Each conch symbolizes a unique aspect of divine action and cosmic function, forming an essential part of Vishnu's iconography. First one is Ananta Shankha, which symbolizes eternity and infinite expansion. The second one is Panchajanya Shankha, which represents victory, divine sound, and the call of righteousness. The third one is Jalaja Shankha, meaning born of water. This conch stands for purity, sustenance, and spiritual nourishment. The fourth one is Vamadeva Shankha. This conch represents compassion and healing. The fifth one is Sarvottamuka Shankha, literally facing all directions. This conch signifies omnipresence and Lord's ability to reach every corner of the universe. It shows his readiness to protect all beings equally. Now let us know Sri Venkateswara's Panchajanya. Among these 5, Lord Venkateswara holds the sacred conch Panchajanya in his left upper hand. It embodies his role as a protector of Dharma, sounding the divine call to uphold righteousness and destroy evil. It also resonates with the Omkara, the primordial sound, linking devotees directly to the cosmic reality through devotion. Now let us find out the symbolism of the Shankha in Vaishnavism. The Shankha, that is conch, is one of the 4 principal attributes of Lord Vishnu, that is Sri Venkateswara. Held in his upper left hand, it symbolizes Nada Brahma, the sound principles, the primordial vibration, that is Nada, from which creation unfolds. Dharma Ghosha, the trumpet of righteousness that announces divine presence and destroys adharma. Purification, the blowing of the conch is said to purify the surrounding body and mind. The fourth one is victory. The Shankha signals the spiritual trump of truth over illusion. With this brief background, now let us look into the references of this Shankha Mudra referred in Vedic and Puranic and Itihasas. The first reference we will find in the Rig Veda. The sloka reads like this: Vakrat Sukram Pratyudasa Nadam Ananta Vidya. In translation, this sloka means from the mouth emanates the pure eternal sound understood by the wise. In interpretation of this sloka mentions like this: the The divine conch represents the eternal sound, Om, the cosmic vibration. The sound of the Shankha echoes the beginning of creation. One of the sloka from Samaveda mentions like this: Akasasya nadham sukram sarvam abhiparita. In translation, the sloka mentions like this: the sacred sound that fills the skies and pervades all directions. In interpretation, the Shankha is a symbolic of the Akashic sound, a cosmic frequency that brings balance, peace, and divine awareness. We'll find the reference from Taittiriya Upanishad. The sloka reads like this: Yo Vaisya Bhuma Tattvam Nada Atma Eva. The meaning of the sloka is that which is infinite in the self and its essence is sound. The meaning of the sloka is the Shankha as a medium of nada becomes a symbolic extension of the divine self expressing itself in creation. Now let us find out the Puranic references about the Shankha Mudra. In Vishnu Purana, one of the sloka mentions like this: Koyam pavanaha punyaha nadakari surottama. The meaning of this sloka is this conch is pure, sanctifying, and produces sound that is divine and supreme. In interpretation, the Shankha is not only an instrument but also a weapon of Dharma, purifying all who hear it. Another sloka from Bhagavad Purana mentions like this: Subram dhvanim pavitram cha dharmasya goshakam tada. In translation, the sloka mentions it is clear, pure, sound proclaims righteousness. In interpretation, the Shankha sound represents the divine declaration of Dharma. It is the Lord's voice calling for justice and spiritual awakening. One of the sloka from Padma Purana also refers to the Shankha Mudra. Vishnuna pavanartaya Shankha dharyaha sada subha. In translation, the sloka mentions as Vishnu holds the Shankha always for the satisfaction, well-being of the universe. The Shankha is always active in Vishnu's hand, as an ever-working force for spiritual upliftment. Now let us look into the Shankha in iconography and Agama Shastra, what it says. According to Vaikanasa and Pachratra Agamas, the Shankha is held in the upper left hand, that is Vamapani of Lord Venkateswara. It is placed at shoulder height, tilted slightly towards a symbol that repels evil influence, draws attention to the Lord's voice of guidance, purifies the devotees standing before the deity. The Agama prescribes Abhisheka, ritual bathing, and upacharas, that is offerings, to the Shankha as a living entity, often named Panchajanya, the most famous conch of Sri Venkateswara or Mahavishnu, reminding us the Shankha's connection to cosmic creation. Now let us look into the role of Shankha in Vaishnava devotion. Nammalvar in his Tirumala mentions like this: Sangisnada Sutaram Agum. In translation of this Tamil sloka, it mentions the conch sacred sound becomes the square of righteousness. It means the sound of Shankha organizes the chaos of holy life into structured space of Dharma. Periyalvar in his Tirumala mentions like this: Sankadu Chakkaram Edum Tamarai Kannan. In translation, the Tamil sloka mentions as the Lord who wields the conch and discuss the lotus-eyed Kannan. In interpretation, the Alvar constantly visualized Vishnu's with Shankha and Chakra as the two arms of divine justice and compassion. Kulasekara Alvar mentions in his Tirumala like this: Alagartam Shanku Chakaram Tangi. It means the beautiful one bears the Shankha and Chakra. This poetic expression elevate the Shankha to a cosmic symphony through which the Lord communicates with his devotees. Now let us look at the Shankha in ritual and temple practice. Blowing the conch during every Suprabhata Seva, Archana and Ekanta Seva at Tirumala, the conch is blown thrice, symbolizing awakening of the deity, dispelling tamas, that is spiritual ignorance, summoning divine attention, and abhishekam to Panchajanya. On festivals and special abhishekams are performed to Lord Venkateswara conch as if it were a deity. Now let us look into the philosophical interpretation of the Shankha Mudra. In Advaita Vedanta, the Shankha is seen as the sound form of Brahman, the bridge between Nirguna, that is formless, and Sarguna, that is with form, that is Brahman. In Bhakti Yoga, the sound of the conch is an invitation to surrender, that is Saranagati. It opens the heart to receive God's grace. In Yoga philosophy, the Shankha represents with the Ajna Chakra, that is awakening inner perception and discipline. Now let us look into the Shankha Mudra's connection to Lord Venkateswara's divine mission. Lord Venkateswara, the presiding deity of the Kali Yuga, holds the Shankha as a symbolic call to righteousness amidst chaos. Unlike the Sudarshana Chakra, which often devotes cosmic judgment, the Shankha in his left hand serves as the gentle reminder of the Lord's compassion and purity. His left Shankha holding hand symbolizes interversion, receptivity, and inner grace, making it perfect representation of divine mercy. We had a lengthy discussion about Shankha Mudra's references in various Vedas, Puranas, and Itihasas and Alvar's verses. Before concluding, let us summarize the discussion which you have made so far. The Shankha Mudra of Lord Sri Venkateswara is not merely a symbolic gesture but a sacred portal into the spiritual essence of Sanatana Dharma. As held in the upper hand of Lord Sri Venkateswara, the divine conch, that is Shankha, represents the primordial sound, Om, the source of all creation, the call of Dharma, and the protective embrace of divine grace. From the ancient hymns of Rigveda to the vibrant verses of the Alvars, and through the devotional practice of millions today, the Shankha has always been a living, breathing symbol of purity, cosmic order, and spiritual awakening. It is through this mudra that Lord announces his active involvement in the world, not merely a distant observer, but a compassionate guardian who protects the righteous, upholding truth and dispel darkness. To meditate upon this mudra is to attune our heart to the sacred frequency of the universe. It is to listen to the unspoken voice of Lord Sri Venkateswara, summoning us to abandon fear, embrace righteousness, and walk the path devotion, that is bhakti, and liberation, that is moksha. Here is the message for you, all the devotees. Dear devotees, when you stand before Lord Venkateswara, behold his Shankha Mudra, remember this: the Lord is calling you not just to pray, but to transform your life. Let the sound of conch awaken your soul, cleanse your mind, and guide your actions. The divine weapons like Shankha, conch, and chakra disc are not just symbols of the Lord's power. They are conveying a profound message to the devotees. They cleanse the inner falsehood within you, that is chakra, and awaken the voice of Dharma in your heart, that is Shankha. The call to transform yourself means shift from destructive negative tendencies towards divinity and righteousness. Instead of expecting from others, reflect on what you are giving to them. The change is not about altering the external world, but transforming your own mind. This inner transformation is the true path to the divine. The Shankha Mudra symbolizes the primordial sound, the sacred Om, that purifies the inner darkness, that is tamas, and fills the heart with wisdom. When the conch sounds, it dispels fear, awakens Dharma. Similarly, the Lord urges us to move from a state of fearful application to one courage and steadfastness. Let it remind you that no matter how turbulent the world becomes, the Lord's conch continues to blow the sound of victory, purity, and peace. Listen closely, and you will hear the divine voice of protection and eternal love with your own heart. Om Namo Narayana. Hope you have enjoyed this piece of discussion. If you like this discussion, please forward to your friends, students, scholars, and relatives, group people. Please subscribe this channel to know more about Hindu culture and civilization, and especially on Lord Sri Venkateswara and Vedic culture of India. Thank you very much. Hope we will meet you in another discussion. This discussion is also available in Telugu language.
कमलायतलोचनलोकपते विजयी भव